Although the Mughals still technically ruled India, the British were the major power behind the throne. The princes of different territories collected the taxes for the British, thus acquiesced to their rule. Imports of cheap textiles from Britain decimated India's industry, focusing more to an agrarian economy. The area in the light blue to the southwest is the Indian Empire, known as the Jewel of the Empire. It would extend to Burma. Rammohn Roy lived from 1772 to 1833. Roy was open-minded to change and wanted to adopt Western philosophies and adapt them to Hinduism. He studied the Vedic principles and opposed the caste system, polygamy, the prohibition of widow remarriage, the lack of education for common people, and discrimination against women. The British, however, wanted to create a British education system, which Roy rejected. Additionally, British missionaries started to cause problems with Hindu and Muslim culture. The Great Uprising, or the Sepoy Mutiny of 1857 to 1858, caused the British to send troops and effectively take over India as a formal colony. The mutiny was caused by the new Enfield rifle. Soldiers were supposed to bite open the ammunition, which contained grease. The barrel of the gun had to be greased, and the British used animal fat. However, pork is anathema to the Islamic religion, as beef is to Hinduism. The Indian people thought that the British were trying to convert them to Christianity, and it caused a massive uprising. The factions were too divided, and ultimately the British regained the confidence of the Indian people, both Muslim and Hindu, and often played them against each other. The East India Company was abolished, as well as the Mughal dynasty. The British now had direct rule, and Queen Victoria added Empress of India to her various titles. The British Raj, or rule, was when the British educated the elite and gave them government positions in the Indian civil service. However, one must study and take the exams in London, thus only the wealthy Indians could afford to travel there. 50,000 miles of railroad track were laid along the subcontinent, along with the telegraph and postal service. 4,000 British and 500,000 Indians ran the government of 400 million people. British India consisted of today's India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. The Indian National Congress was formed by wealthy Western-educated Indians to advance the cause of Indian involvement in their own governance. They wanted to have the civil service exams brought to India so more Indians could obtain government work. Gopal Gokhale was a member of the Congress and wanted slow evolutionary reform rather than revolution. He wanted all Indians to unite and be respectful of each other rather than focus on different ethnicities and religions. Bhai Ganjir Tilak was in direct contrast to evolutionary change. He demanded immediate independence from Britain, mobilizing Hindu religious symbolism to develop a mass following and arguing that violence was an acceptable tactic for anti-colonial partisans. This alarmed the Muslim communities. In 1905, Great Britain partitioned Bengal. The agriculturally rich province of Bengal was divided for administrative purposes. However, it was divided on religious lines, and many Indians feared the British were attempting to divide the Indians. In the 20th century, the Indian National Congress would become the vehicle for independence under Mohandas Gandhi. This is a map you can see just to the east of Calcutta. There's a border area. That was the partition of Bengal. Today, that country is Bangladesh, again, a Muslim minority that had been part of India.